play a new arrangement from Flyers too. Are we having fun yet? I'll tell you what, we are having fun on this tour because I get to have one of my great friends, Mr. Mark Lettieri, for this entire tour as our special guest. Incredible guitar player, songwriter. We're gonna do one of his tunes now. This is called Tidal Tail. tour, I thought it would be a shame if we did not get Tema to come up and sing a couple tunes with us. So please welcome to the stage, Tema Siegel.
Shine.
put out an album with an orchestra. There were 70 of us in the band at the time. Not all their visas got accepted, so I brought everybody who did. So we're gonna do one of those tunes off that record. It's called Burn. Mark has a series of records that are baritone guitar albums. For those of you unfamiliar, this is a guitar, that's a bass guitar, that's a baritone guitar. It's right in between. It's like you have a violin, guitar, baritone guitar, viola, bass guitar, cello. Cello. This is not one of Mark's records. This is called Gigantactis. Let's get that flugel. Speak. Speak. Time to hold court, J-Web. That's Kenny Holman. alto and soprano sax. Trumpet man Jay Webb. On trombone and horn arrangements, that's Michael Nelson. We got Guitar Yannick on the drums and cymbals. Johannes Tona on the bass. Kevin Gastonway on the keys. And the one and only Mark Lettieri. My name's Cory. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. What a wonderful evening. Thanks for making us feel special and welcome our first time here. Really appreciate it. Good evening, New Haven. Welcome to tonight's press conference. I know there are several members of the press that are here this evening. We've gotten the majority of your emails. Those of you who have credentials or who set up ahead of time to get them, you should have gotten them from our tour manager. I'm here right now to discuss the musical performance that you witnessed here on this stage this evening. I'm here to take full ownership of every 16th note that was played. I'm here to take full ownership of all the ways that we placed the subdivision on and off the beat. Here to talk through some little details of things that we could do as a band to get better. I'm going to celebrate some of the wins. I'm going to discuss some of the areas that we could improve after this gig. In an effort to make sure that every show on this tour is the best show on this tour. I know there are several members of the press here this evening. We will get to your questions, but I want to just kind of run down the set list a little bit to talk through things. You know, oftentimes a weekend crowd differs from a weekday crowd, but I would say tonight they really brought it for a Monday. Go. You know, our first time playing in a certain city, we never really know what the reception is going to be like. Playing on a weekday, don't really know how it's going to go over, so we tried something different. During the rest of this tour, we've been opening with a tune that's kind of an unreleased thing that I wrote for a TV show that, so I got asked to write theme music for a show on CBS called After Midnight. When they asked me to write the theme song, they gave me the entire prompt. We had a four-hour meeting about what the tune should be. I wrote the tune. I absolutely nailed it. They said, nah. And no, it's okay, it's okay. It's my job as a producer and a writer to make sure that I align myself with their vision. And I wanted to make sure that I did justice for them. And I wanted to write exactly what it was that would make them happy, but also fit into my artistry. So another several-hour call later, we landed on what is now the theme song for the show, but I had this tune that was just sitting in my Dropbox for a while, and I didn't want it to go to waste, so we've been using it as a show opener for this tour. And I think it's going pretty well. It's going pretty well. Like I mentioned earlier, Mark and I have a band together called the Fearless Flyers. We played some Flyers tunes tonight. You know, one of the things about taking Fearless Flyers tunes and moving them into this band is that the Flyers is a 4-piece ensemble, and this is a 10 or 11-piece ensemble, depending on the day of the week. And I feel like we're nailing it. There's a couple spots. I feel like the new Flyers tune, this is the best that we performed that one yet. I think the key to this that we haven't been nailing in other gigs that we got this time is we're allowing the space to breathe a little bit. I think, especially in the rhythms, I mean the horn section's feeling it closer now, where we're feeling the time in the rhythm section, but I feel like as a rhythm section, we are definitely leaving spaces in the spots that we should now just kind of
those spaces should be inked in just as much as the notes. All right. We did a couple Mark Lettieri tunes this evening. You gotta check out Mark's records. He's got some records in the back. Go buy them all up. Buy them all up. How about that Barry sax solo? Damn, Mark. As you get playing with a band long enough, you start to notice the little twitches on their face when something's going right, when something's going wrong. I did notice something at kind of the beginning of your solo. It felt like you were fiddling around with your horn a little bit to kind of test some things. It felt like maybe there was one or two keys that you were fighting with at some point in the night. Can you talk to me a little bit about how that affected your playing and how you overcame that adversity?
There was a low note that wasn't coming out, wasn't speaking right, but you know, sometimes you beat the horn, it's doing what you want, sometimes the horn beats you, but it was a good fight, and I think I came out on top.
Little insider trading here. Saxophone players, when a lot of the low notes can get a little messy, so one of the tricks that they use to try to mess with their horn to fix it while they're playing, but to make it try to feel a little bit musical, is they play and they go, and they start slapping stuff down here. I knew as soon as Dan was blowing as hard as he could, and he was on the side of that thing, he was not happy, so I'm glad you got through it. That's all right, we're checking for leaks there. Hey, Tema came out and absolutely murdered it. One of the wonderful things about having singers, and the beautiful thing about the human voice, is that everybody's voice its power spot is in a different key than other people. And she's interpreting these other songs, one song that Dodie and I did together, and a Paramore song. And we've been trying to kind of find where her voice fits best for these tunes. And tonight was the first time, believe it or not, we tried the album key, the key of E for those keeping track of Ain't It Fun. And I feel like it really did help make the power of her voice stick out. So I think we leave it at E. Let's keep it at E. Yeah, that's what I was push sharps on that one. Mark had a great solo on Brooklyn Bop. Jay Webb had a great solo on Brooklyn Bop. Every audience is as receptive to a clarinet solo, so I will say thank you. Give yourselves a hand for being stoked about the clarinet. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All right, that's about it for what I need to run down on the set list. I feel like we have our notes, we have our things that we need to look at. One in particular is just inking the space on the flyers too, but there's one there. Yeah. Okay. That's our main thing. That's the way that we're gonna get 2% better tomorrow and the next day. Okay. Okay, here's how the next portion of this is gonna work. My tour manager, Cory is gonna make his way out of the shadows from over there. He's got a microphone. When I call on you, please state your name, your publication, and come at us with your questions. No hold barred. If you're gonna ask a question, if I do call on you, you're gonna have to come up towards the front. Right here in the thick stripes, I would call those quarter note stripes on the shirt.
Hi guys, thanks for a great performance tonight. My name's Rohan from Quantum Music Incorporated. The question I wanted to ask is, in Boston there's a bit of an issue with the crowd clapping off time. Today's crowd seemed a lot better musically, so I wanted you to comment a little bit on the musicality of the New Haven crowd versus the Boston crowd, and just keep that a little bit.
I never speak down about a city, but I will speak highly of this city, and the musical acumen and general intelligence level here is quite high. So I appreciate that. I feel like certain crowds learn how to read the room. Certain crowds and certain people can decide to kind of overshadow the moment, and sometimes a drunk, overzealous clapper. Well, I'll just stop. Yeah, we got. You put enough of them in a room, it's okay. You know, certain things you can get away with in certain rooms, and that actually is not just city to city. I think it also goes to. There's several things as an artist, performer. What we need to do is read the room. So there's a standing crowd, there's a seated crowd, there's a weekday crowd, there's a weekend crowd. We can assume things going into it based on past experiences, but oftentimes a crowd will surprise you for better or worse. So it's just one of the things in our in my responsibility, I maybe should have read the moment in that and just gone right into the tune, rather than expecting a weekend rowdy Boston crowd to meet me. I should have met them where they were at. I'm serious. That was my responsibility. All right, all right, yeah, let's do it. Come on. Next question. Yeah, let's go. Yes, you in the Miller High Life.
This is for the drummer. So first
Hold
off,
on, excuse me. Please state your name, your publication, then state your question. No holds barred.
I am Allegra. I am also a drummer. I love your energy. I love your vibe. I love your earring. That second snare, though, what is the size, the wood, and who made it?
It's a 14 by 5, all maple, made in the mountains of Serbia. It's called Antica Snare Drum. Check them out, they're great.
I will say a lot of that also has to do though with Miles Hansen back in the sound booth. A lot of when we're using a certain type of microphone, you can see we're using an EV mic that's typically used as a kick or a floor tom mic, rather than just a regular snare mic or a tom mic. So it gets a little bit of a fatter response, and it's EQ'd in a way that's it's bumping the low end, top end, and it's got a little more compression on it than you would in something else. Of course, in the United States, heritage. Yes, right here. Yeah.
Jeremy Mellinger, ESPN. Down there in the second quarter, when you were playing Call Me Wild, I noticed you didn't come in with your classic dun, 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 and let Kevin take a little more of the load during the verse there. I was wondering if that was more of a game time audible, or that was something you worked on during training camp?
That is absolutely something I did intentional for rehearsal, and also there's a handful of vocal moments that I have, and I feel like I'm able to better interact with Tema if I'm not tied up in the guitar part. And plus I have Mark and Kevin here, so it's about being more engaged in my role in the front with Tema. Great question. Guest right here in the shirt that says Jazz on it. Litchfield Jazz Camp, is that Litchfield, Minnesota? Next to Wong?
No. It's, yes. Yeah.
Okay, great.
This is for you and Mark. Oh, I'm Blake. I'm guitar.
Hello, Blake Guitar.
I want you guys to just speak a little bit on like how you approach the neck, because I think a lot of people do it in really different ways.
Yeah.
Open-ended.
I'll speak for myself. I spent a lot of time, there's two aspects of it, and then they each have branches that lead from them. One is the caged system. So the caged system, where you learn, it's basically based off the chord shapes. There's a chord shape, there's a major scale, there's a relative minor scale, and there's a pentatonic and a relative minor pentatonic scale associated with each of those. And then The other thing that a lot of people don't spend time on is really learning where every note is on the fretboard. So you go C, 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 C. You play every C on the neck, and then you build from the cage system. And the cage system, I think, a lot of people speak down upon it because they feel caged by it. But I think that's because they don't understand how one shape can flow into the next. They look at the fretboard in a way that's a little more vertical. And I think if you practice single string scales, up and down, going horizontal, then you can combine the two and you can really start to get a little more fluidity on the neck in a way that if you watch Julian Lage play, you would never know that he's thinking of one shape or the other because it's all just so fluid. He's a prime example of somebody who's just got the most fluidity on the neck.
I do have some instructional courses that you can procure from my website. A nominal fee, but no, actually, Cory made a very good point. I was going to say, learning your scales linearly. So start with the lowest note on the guitar, which would be an E. Play an E major scale all the way up from the lowest note to the highest note on the fretboard. Then do it again on the A string, starting from the nearest, so it would be A, right? Then do it on the D string. Then you have a chord, basically. So you've got 3 strings of the scale going up and down, so you can start building triads. If you do that with every scale, with every string in groups of 3 strings. It sounds like a lot of work, because it kind of is. But you can do like a little bit every day. Pretty soon you'll see both triad shapes for your comping, and the scales will start to build themselves outside of box positions. Does that make sense? So, there you go. That's how I look at it.
There you go, Blake. Good question. Let's go right there, right behind Blake. Yes.
Thank you. I'm Kim Kunzik from Ungrafted Unlimited, and I would love to know what genre you would call this particular type of music.
I don't know. Anytime I try to describe the genre of what we do, it sounds like something I would never want to listen to. I'm working on it, but actually the way that I describe, if somebody says, oh, what is it that you do? I try to say, imagine Tower of Power if the rhythm section, Tower of Power with Prince's rhythm section, and led by a guitar player who listened to a lot of jazz and a lot of alternative rock in the 90s. So it covers a lot of genres in describing that. Okay, let's take one more question. Yes, right there. Yeah, you with the watch in your left hand. I appreciate that.
Wilden, Yale Daily News. I've played in a sweaty frat basement or two, and I'm wondering how you deal with that aspect of sweat, sweaty hands, slippage, pink slippage. How do you handle that?
I'm not sure which parties you were at, but you may be entitled to some compensation in a class action lawsuit that's happening in the entertainment news right now. But if you're worried about slippage and sweatiness, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, my hands do not sweat. I don't know why. My hands aren't oily. I don't really sweat. I mean, I sweat when I play, but I was. You just have a towel handy. And don't wipe your face, pat your face. That actually is. That seems to help. But also, get a fan. Put a fan next to you. That is the easiest thing. But also, yeah, we played in a lot of sweaty, steamy rooms. Own it. How about that? Just own it. Yeah, use it to your advantage. All right, let's take one last one. There was one right here in the green hat, and then we're gonna.
Hi, Robert from Yale Daily News. This question's for Eddie Barbash. I saw you with a slice of pizza. Which New Haven pizza did you choose?
Hold on. We had a few. Hold on. was at Sally's. But this afternoon, I went to Pepe's, because I like Pepe's. But there's more. My favorite in town is actually Zupardi's. Where is that? And hold on though, because we got 4 or 5 different places, because everybody's... The Buffalo, where was the Buffalo Chicken Bar? That Buffalo Chicken was dope from that spot. That was a dope pizza. A lot of great pizza, okay? There's a lot of great pizzas around. Okay, New Haven. Can we play one more song from you? you so much. We really appreciate it. Thanks.